Hey everyone, welcome back to more of Lost Isle. And we're gonna start going through level 1. This might be broken into at least a couple parts because I think this is a fairly long level. So as soon as you step in, find some ghost thingamajig or whatever that is. There's like no one left here. It's like all deserted. Oh, and note, Lost Isle unfortunately is one of these quests. As difficult as it is, you only start with 3 hearts each time you start, so you gotta be very careful where you save and quit. Because you don't start at a set location, you start at the beginning of whatever area or dungeon, so you want to make sure you're in a safe spot before you save and quit. Again, this is a fairly long level, so this is going to take a while to get through. I don't think there's anything to the right. Nothing we can do yet. Again, it helps to come in with an extra heart container. Gives me a little more wiggle room to work with. So at this level, you're gonna find a lot of these kind of shortcut points. Triggering those as we go through this level. And yeah, just a 1 heart in the chest, so we'll just leave that there. And there's our big item for the level, which obviously can't reach yet. I think there are a few unique things about the level layouts in this particular quest. If I remember, I don't think keys are that abundant for most levels. So just kind of scouting around the place, see what I can find. Yeah, this level is kind of far from linear. And 5 arrows, just leave that there. Yeah, you can't go down these stairs, you see the water there. Yeah, you kind of gonna dread what's coming up here, huh? If you've played some of the other Zelda games, you might remember what that water's gonna mean. Now if you go up here, the door actually just closes behind you, so it's kind of a one-way door. Not that big a deal since this is the main route anyway. And don't be afraid to spam arrows, because if you need some distance weapons, that's what you're gonna use. You have no boomerang yet. Yeah, okay, there's your compass. Unfortunately, you can't really see where you're on the map. You don't have like a even a rough idea of it. And don't worry about that door closing. They just led to that other room with the 5 arrows. So you're not really missing anything. This room, I think, is just a refill room. You know, a lot of grass, so you can just cut this for hearts and stuff. Yeah, so free up our first shortcut. So now we can actually get back to the start if we need to. We're just gonna keep going, though. Luckily, this level actually is fairly linear, but it's still kind of difficult for our first level. Kind of easy to get confused. Again, arrows very helpful, you know, sniping enemies from long distance. Now, what if you can make your life easier in this place? You know, just do it. Okay, this room. Interesting room with the spikes. And just a single heart there. I think that's actually an item. So you just kind of, you know, wait to see where you can walk safely. Okay, this room. Not sure there's anything in this room. You can kind of block the traps, I suppose. See if there's anything in the holes there. Just kind of block up the traps. Gonna get some free arrows there. Alright, this room, you might just want to leave that trap there. Just let it mind its own business. Another shortcut to the start. Okay, this room looks a little odd. You notice this is a normal statue. This one looks a little odd. Although it's kind of easy to miss this because it's off-center. So you gotta be, you know, kind of keep a close eye. And actually, you know, the fact you're given bombs here actually should give you another clue what you should do. So you shouldn't miss this, actually. Oh, welcome to Ocarina of Time. You already have to lower water. You're already dealing with this and it's only level 1. Have fun with this one. I think you can raise the water back up if you need to. Although I think if you do it correctly, I don't think you ever have to do this more than once. And just some arrows. I'm just gonna leave that there since I'm already full. Yeah, I'm not sure how they managed to do this. Be able to coordinate something like this. And again, this is just a shortcut back to the start. If you notice kind of the darker tints of water, so I guess that water's lower down. And I think this is just various warp points here. You'll see where, I guess it takes you back to the start from other areas. Alright, well, you lowered the water, now you can actually head on down the stairs. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Already multiple floors to deal with. And you're gonna probably find a number of puzzles in this quest. Some are more kind of clever than others. And this one's actually a fairly simple one. So just kind of get used to doing block puzzles. Yeah, nothing on that side. We got Armo statues here. Now this one's a little tricky to do. Arrows will probably help you out a little bit. Kind of want to take your time going through this. Now, it's kind of hard to see, but if you look very carefully under the waterfall, you actually see Armo statues. It's kind of hard to see them, but you can just barely make them out. Like it's a little clearer on in this room. Okay, this room. You really want to read that hint very carefully. When it says beware the floor, the first thing you're going to want to do is really look at this room. You really want to take a very close look at this room and see what is what looks funny with the floor here. And if you look somewhat carefully, you can kind of see some kind of cracks in the floor. Now, if you imagine taking the short path, like if you go down and left, you can see where the problems are. There's little cracks in the floor. So, take a moment to look at this, and, if you can kind of get that perspective, you can see the spot that you need to avoid. So you want to take the long way around this, and so you just kind of go all the way around, and then just very carefully make your way around this part. Oh, and mind you, if you step on one of those cracks, you're dead. Instant death. So, that's kind of a little mean for level 1, isn't it? That's why you want to take a very close look at this room. Luckily, you only have to do this once, because then you free up the shortcut here. So you never have to do that again. Kind of odd with the Armo statues. I think the red ones are slow, and then the yellow ones, the flashy ones, are fast ones. Again, I'm probably gonna have to break this video up into at least a few pieces because this is a pretty long level. I'm only partway through this place. Okay, this room. Try to see, almost try to visualize how to get through this. And I think you can only push each block once. I think there's an actual heart item. I think it's that other grass to the right there. Okay, this room. You know, it might just be easier to go on the lower path, to be honest. The top path looks a little torturous there. I think those things do... I want to say it's one heart. I'm not sure, though. I think it's a heart a hit. I'm not sure why you'd want to go on the upper route, you know? It's like, screw this, I'm gonna go on the lower right. Even though it's just filled with enemies, but it doesn't matter, I can just spam arrows and take them all out. Now, actually having Magic Shield also helps for this place, you'll see later on. Now, if you look at this, you know, the statue on the right is firing at you, but the one on the left isn't. So you can actually walk through this one. Okay, this room. I gotta try to remember how to do this. There's a way you can push these blocks that you can actually get through this safely. I'm trying to remember how to do this. I might have actually already done it wrong, actually. So I think you push the, you know, you kind of make a little bridge for yourself. And then, let's see how you do this next part. You push that one, and then this one. So you're kind of making a little shield for yourself. I don't know if that's the way you're supposed to do this, but there are various ways to do that. Just whatever gets you to do that safely. But if you do get kind of beat up in that room, you got this room with plenty of grass, so you can get refills in this room. And you need that to raise the planks up. Okay, this room, well, I get one-way shutter there. Alright, we go down here, it's another one of these water switch things. I don't think you want to trigger that just yet. I'll probably come back to that, you know, just a little bit. This one's a little trickier to get through. it's kind of unfair they got boomerangs and I don't. But again, slash is very handy because you can attack diagonally. It makes things a little easier for you. Okay, this room. A little trickier with the block puzzle. Because I think this is a block you can only push once. This is, you can push as many times as you want in the direction it points. And then this one's kind of like your wild card block. You can push it, I think, as many times as you want. I'm trying to figure out how to get around this room. So you kind of have to work this block all the way around. Again, if you mess up, you just, exit and re-enter the room. It'll just reset all the blocks for you. Okay, that room can get a little bit annoying because of the pots here. They're actually pretty difficult to dodge. This room, I think you just shoot that with an arrow. Yeah, it's either that or a bomb. And you note the stairs there. More water, so this actually goes even lower than this. Honestly, this is probably going to remind you of a Majora's Mask, because actually Majora's Mask is a fairly, not that many dungeons, but they're really long. Yeah, mind you, this is only the first dungeon. Somewhat complicated room here. And what's very difficult is all this camouflage, just trying to figure out how to get through all this. Get one of, I think there's only 2 keys in this level. And they're not used for locked doors or anything, they're used for specific things. I guess that's one good thing. There's only a couple keys to find in this place. It's just going to be quite a bit of effort to find them. Alright, I think this is another shortcut right here, which is very convenient. And get back up to the first floor. And this part's already, it's running a little bit long on time, and it's going to take me quite a while to get into the next area, but at least I freed up shortcuts, so now I can just start. I think I still have to lower the water though if I save and quit, but here now I can just go right through this route and save myself a lot of time. Alright, if you go down here, now that you've emptied the water, at least from the top floor, as you go down the vines. A very interesting way to create this room. Now don't get thrown off by the 5 arrows sitting here. You actually have to look very carefully at this wall. Like the vines here, you know, you can climb them, but here it looks a little bit shallow. And you can actually cut that to create a passageway here. I mean, this is very easy to miss. The problem is you can't miss this, because there's your other key. Really a lot of clever gimmicks in this place. A little easier to get back to the start if you need to. And I might have to split this up because this is going to take a while to get down the next portion of this level. So we'll just head back to the start here, and we'll take a break. The next part will continue on through just level 1. Go through the next piece of this level. Alright, see you guys later.